All right, guys, I'm just Canadian Perspective, and we're here with Kodiak and Willow. They're both board and trains. Uh, Here, what we're going to work on with Kodiak is just dog socialization, just to show how we go about it. He does have dog reactivity. He is territorial over his owner. And I have Willow here, who's also reactive, and recently has been reactive towards me for whatever reason. So we're working on that currently. So here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to start with Kodiak being the one that's going to be sniffed, and we're actually going to skip a couple of stages. Typically, we would walk around the dog to get them used to the presence of the other dog without putting on any social pressure. But the reason why we're going to go directly into the sniffing is, one, I technically introduced them yesterday. We went for a walk together. Kodiak was completely fine. So there's that thing. But then also, if Kodiak were to escalate, I want to show how we work through it and press anyways, because hiccups do happen whenever we're socializing. So Astrid, go ahead and get Kodiak set up to be sniffed. Good. Now I'm going to approach from the rear. We can see there was a little lip lick there, closed mouth, low tail wag, low slow tail wag, kind of looking this way, knowing that we're coming from behind. Yep, a little grumble there. Okay, little mouth movement. Another grumble. All right, now tap. Good. Stand them up. Good. What are we currently set to? 27. Okay, so I'm going to circle around. So right there, we gave Kodiak a tap to correct the growling. Tap, tap, tap. Good. Go ahead and bump them. Let's go to 45. I'm going to repeat this. Yep, circle around. Good. Yep. Good. Scoot a little back. A little bit more. A little bit more. Perfect right there. Okay, try this again. Bring it in. Okay, now here. Tap. All right. Yep. Prop them up. Use your foot. There you go. Tap. Yep. Prop them up. Tap. Yep. Hold. You got it. Good. Tap. Good. Tap. You got it. 1 sec. Swap. Here. Here. All right. So we're going to do that again. So part of the thing here is that Kodiak is big, but then also he doesn't like, I don't know if I can pick it up here, being touched here. Okay, so I just tapped him at a 45 because he didn't like me grabbing him. So I'm tapping him again there. Good, go ahead and bring in. Good. Tap. Good, bring in. Yep, good. Go ahead and just touch with your hand. Good. So this touch here that Astrid is doing is actually related to Willow because he's so focused on Willow. But now we're not getting any grumbling, so we're going to both circle around. Good. 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 Go ahead and come in. Good. Go ahead and touch. Good. Now do light touch. So you can see a little bit of flinching here, right? Because he's thinking that Willow's doing the touch here. That's good. Good. Go ahead and sit beside me. So when we see these things, right, we hear him growling. He's a bigger guy, so he kind of pushed over Astrid there, so then we swap. Is people go, oh no, you know, the dog's growling, they were reactive or whatever, and they go, it doesn't matter. We have to correct it and then move past it in order for him to learn that's not acceptable. Now, part of his grumbling was also he didn't like being touched under the stomach. So I go and I touch him under the stomach. He growled, I corrected him, I touched him again. He growled, I corrected him, and then he stopped, right? Because he's learning, okay, I can try to growl at Jesse, but he's gonna continue doing the thing I don't want him to do, but then also I'm gonna be corrected for growling, okay? Now this does not eliminate, because people always talk about like, oh, you're just suppressing behavior, you're not giving the dog an opportunity to warn and all that stuff. That's nonsense. What he's learning is I have to find another way to deal with this, okay? So here he just kind of went into an avoidance state. He's stuck in his head because we're doing something that no one, at least that I know of, has done before with him. We're pressing a clear discomfort in two ways. One with touch, but then also with another dog coming in to sniff him, right? So if we're trying to press towards sociability, we have to break the ice. If we don't break the ice, there will always be tension, okay? Now, yesterday I walked these two guys together, no problem, no tension at all, because there was no social pressure. They were just walking side by side. I had Willow here, and I had Kodiak over here. So they were like this, okay? And they intermingled and stuff, but there was no social pressure. Willow didn't try to sniff Kodiak, and Kodiak did not try to sniff Willow. But now that we're pressing the sniffing, now that we're pressing the social interaction, now he's going, hey, I have a problem, okay? The other thing is, Willow's coming from behind. So for Kodiak, that's a vulnerable space for him, right? So that's why in the beginning, right away, you saw him look to the side. We saw that little tail wag. As she got closer, we got the little grumble, but we just pushed past it. So what he's gonna learn is, I'm gonna be sniffed anyways. If I'm reactive, I'm gonna be corrected. But then at the end, nothing bad happened. Willow didn't try to attack him. Even if he tried to attack Willow, it would have been corrected and squashed. So again, he's going, I'm not being reinforced. I'm not being allowed to do what I normally do. And I have to learn to tolerate and accept that this is gonna happen. Now, this isn't something that I would say he's gonna do with every dog that he meets, any stranger dog. This is because he's here for a board and train. Willow's also here for a board and train. And this is just a means of pressing the mother here. So we're gonna do that again. So I'm gonna circle around. Good, good. Go ahead and bring in. Yep. Yep. Good. Bring in. Yep. Good. Good. So go ahead and do touch and then tap Willow to the escalator. There she goes. Good. Good. And then earlier, when we get that, that's panic. That's not pain or discomfort. That's all the emotion coming out because he's frustrated, because he's going, what I'm doing isn't working. The situation's not going away. I'm stuck in the situation. And then we continue to rinse and repeat. But remember, we also skip the stage, where I said we usually do the walk around, but here we come straight to it with the intention of there's gonna be an issue, so that you can see that how we work through it. Because a lot of times my clients, when they do this on their own and they see the reactivity, it discourages them because they go, oh no, it didn't work out. And I go, no, that's part of the process. If your dog has never been socialized and or this has never been done before, they're obviously gonna have a problem. So you have to work them through it. And if we repeat this over and over and over again, that's how we help the dog learn to trust the other dog, right? But this is why I say we don't do this with like strangers' dogs. We do this with friends' dogs, family dogs. And this is how my clients have their dogs who are antisocial and or reactive, and they're able to socialize them with at least a handful of dogs because they did this exercise and they moved past the issue. I currently have a dog right now who was super reactive, and the last time I saw the owner, which was this past weekend, so like 3 or 4 days ago on a Sunday, or Monday, sorry, he showed me a video of his dog playing with his parent's dog, which has never happened before. Anytime he'd see the parent's dog, he'd become super reactive, become super aggressive, and this was the first time that they've ever been able to interact, and then they actually were playing with each other for quite a while, okay? But we have to push through these moments, otherwise the dog never comes to the opposite side, and the opposite side is curiosity, okay? If all he is suspicious, intense, Curiosity will never come around, and the dog stays stuck in an antisocial state. Okay, so now we're going to reverse the roles, and we're going to have Kodiak approach Willow. Good. Do a touch. So lip licking from Willow. Okay, but we can see Kodiak tip. Okay, move forward, reset. So circle around, reset. Yep, good, good, good. So you can see that same kind of tension. Also, remember, Willow's not a fan of me. Good. We see Kodiak not having any interest in smelling, but he's also not showing any attention here because he's coming from the rear. If you look at his tail, we're getting that slow wag here. This is him in a stressed, kind of nervous state. He's not liking the situation. Again, all part of the process. Good. Good. There's the sniff. Good. Want to turn around, reset. Good. Again, we see avoidance behavior coming from Kodiak here. So just kind of bringing him near the area. We see him turn to the side. He lays down. He's going, I'm not interested. Good. Okay. Excellent. It's going to reset. You'll stand next to me. Good. So here, that's exactly when I want to tip. I don't know if the mic picked that up. There was a grumble there. Okay. Good. Go ahead and bring her to your right. And you're going to come closer. 45 to 60 for Kodiak here. Right there. All right, so now we got these two guys. We got Willow looking up at Astrid. We got Kodiak looking up at me, right? This is avoidance behavior. He doesn't like her, and she doesn't like him currently. So they're looking away, pretending that the other isn't there, okay? So when it comes to stress, we have 4 options: fight, flight, avoidance, submission. Fight would be reactivity, growling, so on and so forth. Flight would be trying to run away and escape the situation. Avoidance is, I'm going to pretend the other dog isn't there. And submission would be, okay, I'm going to see dogs, and then we would see Kodiak facing like this, kind of more neutrally, and he would look and acknowledge, kind of like what Willow's doing now. Now that's avoidance there, okay? But you saw her kind of looking like this, going, all right, they're next to me. It is what it is, not much I can do about it, right? This stuff is very common in the beginning, especially if the dog's used to being reactive or aggressive. When we go, that's no longer an option. Now the dog's like, okay, well, how else can I deal with the stress? And that's the difference between full-blown suppression, is that we're showing Kodiak, you have another option other than growling and becoming reactive or trying to go for Willow here, right? And that option is avoidance. So he's like, okay, cool. So if I don't like the fact that Willow is here, instead of trying to go after her, I'm going to pretend she's not there. Okay, cool. I get that's my option. Because earlier we were correcting the reactivity, and now I'm not correcting the avoidance because I want him to learn there is another option besides aggression, okay? So over time, this could become submission, what I also refer to as acceptance, which is the dog goes, okay, I'm going to see other dogs in the world, nothing I can do about it. It is what it is, life goes on, okay? This is also something we expect to see when we're doing the socialization stuff, especially if the dogs are antisocial. We're gonna see avoidance first, but if these guys were to rehearse that again 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, possibly, eventually they go, okay, I met you a bunch of times, there's not been a bad experience, you've not tried to attack me, X, Y, Z. I trust that I can, interact with you, so on and so forth, right? Now, is there any guarantee to that? No. If the dogs just don't like each other, they just don't like each other. It's completely fine. What we don't want, of course, is that the other dog goes, well, I'm going to try to attack you because I don't like you. That's obviously unacceptable. So I'm glad we saw some tension. I'm glad we saw some stuff, and you see us kind of work through it, just make it happen. And the dog goes, okay, what other options do I have available to me? Okay, so I'm Jesse with Canine Perspective. Thank you for watching.